In a quaint little village, tucked away at the foot of a towering mountain, lived a young boy named Salem. Now, Salem wasn't like other boys his age. He was remarkably brave and clever, wise beyond his years. The village, however, was gripped by fear. A legend whispered from one generation to the next spoke of a fearsome ogre named Jabbar, who supposedly lived deep within a mountain cave. They said he would emerge in the dead of night to snatch livestock and create a terrible racket. No one had ever laid eyes on him, but his terrifying legend was as real to them as the mountain itself. One night, under the soft glow of a full moon, a commotion stirred the village. The prized hen of their elderly neighbor, dear old Ali, had vanished without a trace. Immediately, whispers turned into accusations, all pointing a shaky finger towards the mountain. It must be Jabbar the ogre. They all cried, but Salem had had enough of living in fear. He decided it was time to uncover the truth, once and for all. He slipped out of his house, a small lantern swinging from his hand and a simple wooden stick for protection. Alone, he marched towards the dark, gaping mouth of the cave. As he neared the entrance, a chill crept into the air, carrying a strange, earthy scent. Any other person would have turned back, but Salem's courage urged him forward into the darkness. He walked for what felt like an eternity, the only sound being the soft tap of his stick on the stone floor. And then he heard it, a deep, rumbling groan that seemed to come from the very heart of the mountain. He followed the sound, his heart pounding in his chest, until he stepped into a vast, open chamber. There, perched on a colossal rock, was a creature of immense size. His body was massive, covered in shaggy brown hair, looking less like a monster and more like a small, breathing mountain. It was him, Jabbar the ogre. Salem felt a tremor of fear, but he didn't run. He stood his ground, held his lantern high, and spoke with a voice that rang with surprising strength. "Ogre Jabbar, why do you steal our village's animals and fill our nights with fear?" The ogre was stunned. He blinked his enormous eyes, which, up close, seemed to hold more sadness than malice. He never expected anyone to speak to him, let alone a small boy. A great sigh escaped his lips, a sound so powerful it shook the very foundations of the cave. "I do not steal, boy," Jabbar rumbled, his voice heavy with sorrow. "I am just hungry. I search for food, but I'm afraid to go down to your village in the daylight. My appearance, it scares everyone away, so I come out at night when no one is around, and all I can find are the animals wandering in the fields." Salem's heart softened. He looked at the giant creature, who suddenly seemed much less monstrous. He realized Jabbar wasn't evil. He was just lonely and desperate. Salem glanced around the cold, hard cave. He saw the rocket floor and, in a dim corner, a small, half-rotten apple that Jabbar had been trying to eat. "Jabbar, I understand," Salem said gently, "but the village is afraid of you, and that fear is what keeps you lonely. If you promise not to cause a commotion, maybe they won't be so scared. Can we? Can we be friends?" A look of pure, unadulterated happiness spread across the ogre's rugged face, a feeling he hadn't experienced in a very, very long time. He nodded his gigantic head eagerly. "I will come back tomorrow," Salem promised, "and I'll bring you a basket full of good food. But you must promise me you won't leave the cave without me knowing, and you won't frighten anyone." Jabbar readily agreed. Salem returned to the village, his heart light with his new secret. He tried to tell everyone what he'd discovered, that the ogre wasn't a monster, just a poor, lonely soul. At first, no one believed him. They thought it was just a child's fanciful story. But Salem was persistent. The very next day, he gathered the freshest vegetables and ripest fruits from his family's garden, packed them into a basket, and made his way back to the mountain cave. From that day forward, Salem became Jabbar's one and only friend. He visited him regularly, always with a basket of food and stories from the village. And slowly, a change began to sweep through the valley. The villagers noticed that no more animals were going missing. The mysterious, frightening noises from the mountain had ceased completely. The fear that had once held them captive began to fade, replaced by a quiet peace. The legend of Jabbar the ogre transformed. It was no longer a tale of terror, but a story of an unlikely friendship and of a brave little boy who taught everyone that true courage isn't about fighting monsters, but about understanding them and offering a hand of kindness. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold with us. If you enjoyed this tale of courage and friendship, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming stories. We'll see you in the next one.